Today is the book Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, and I will tell you right away that this is the most disappointing book ever. You need to read 600 pages, 600 pages that finally it's something interesting will happen. In this video we will talk with you about the most useless main character what I ever read in the book. And also we will talk with you about detective line in the book, love line in the book, funny side and boring side, and in what way it was very disappointed this book, and why last 200 pages was saved this book from the 1 star. So how it was to read this book? At the beginning it was very confusing. You don't understand who is where from. It's actually very helpful in this book. The map at the beginning, there it is. It helps you a lot to understand who is where from. After 50-30 pages, it happens slaughters, and that's the moment when you just like, okay, I will give a chance to this book. And what we have next is 500 pages you just read, and it's pretty boring. And you already start to thinking when it would be over. And at the 600 pages, it starts to be interesting. And this 200 pages, it's totally saves the book. It's like where's action, where's emotional, where's make you all the time on the tense, and where you just like thinking, okay, what it would be next. So this like plus 200 pages, it's totally save whole book. In this book, you find a lot of different creatures, and you need to take a time to process all of these creatures. And again, we have fairies with wings, and before I was read Akatar, and there was some fairies with wings also, and in this book, so it's pretty similar. I haven't read Maas of Thrones, this series, so I'm not sure if Sarah used fairies with wings also or no. So if you read, left your comment and let me know, is it the same, the characters with wings or no? So on this series of the book, main characters, it would be angels and archangels. And archangels is kind of like gods. And what is funny for me when it's in almost every book, when it's these superheroes, these near gods who is totally unbeatable, and eventually they're actually pretty easy to kill. Also, what I paid attention, it's so much cursing language in this book. If to erase all these cursing words from the book, I think it would be already 600 pages because it's so much there. And I think in some places you can actually easily to avoid them for what they take so much space of the book there, right? It's me who is a lazy person and always to try to figure out how to make stuff faster than they are. Again, if you're looking for a romance fantasy book, so this book is definitely not for you. It has very poor love line, but it has, I would say that okay, detective line. So mostly in this book it's action and detective. Plus of this book that it has many unexpected twists, and that's very helpful when you read 800 pages. Again, it's just like I don't think that it's supposed to be this book 800 pages. I think it would be like 500. It would be like really good for this book, you know, like so yeah, but this twist is kind of helpful because all the time when you just like, okay, it's probably this character is guilty or this character would be like something bad happen. So and after all the time like make this twist when you just like, okay, I'm wrong. So that's what is good about this book. And before when we move forward and start to discuss this book deeper, I will rate it 2 stars out of the 5. And for those who haven't read yet this book, it would be short what it's happened in this book. So Probably it will take for me 10 minutes to talk what is happening inside of this book, so you can save your time instead of reading 800 pages, because I already did it for you. Just listen what it happens there. So we have main character, it's a Bryce, and she is half human, half fire. And she is working in the gallery. She has a friend, her name is Danica, and she is werewolf, and she is alpha of the pack of devils, it's called this. And she is very powerful shifter, and she has a very promising future. All these creatures, they all need to do drop. Drop is a scene when you decided, for example, Danica and Bryce, they decided that they will do it when they would be 27 years, I guess, and so far they're 22 years. And when they will do this drop, they would be live much longer. It's around 800 or 1000 years. So in the book we have Vaners, it's all these magic creatures, and they of course doesn't like so much humans, and humans doesn't like Vaners, and before they even had some kind of words. Danica and Bryce, they are best friend, and they love each other, and they will easy to die for each other. So here we are, Bryce and Danica, they living together, they are roommates, and pretty often Danica's pack come over and spend some time in their apartment. And one evening, Bryce back from her job to her apartment, and there was Danica and her pack, and they spent some time together. But Bryce remembered that she has some date with a guy who she even doesn't like so much, but anyway she decided to meet with him. This date turned very bad. Instead, she decided to went to some nightclub with her other friend, it's Fury and Juniper. So they were very high, and when Bryce came back home, she saw that whole pack and Danica was totally slaughtered. And here's the question, who did it, because she haven't seen anybody there inside and even know any noises that it was somebody there. She heard some scream outside, so she was running outside, and she seen that there was some monster, and this monster was trying to attack her, but eventually it was everything alright. She just had a very bad injury on her thigh. And when she woke up, she met with an angel, and his name is Hunt. And Hunt and his group, they were asking her some questions, what happened, but she of course couldn't say anything because she was high. And here's 2 years after, it was happened again, the same murder, how it was with Danica. And again, it was Bright connected to this victim. It was some vampire to who she was sell some picture or something from her gallery. And after this meeting, they find that this vampire was murdered, and murdered the same how it was Danica. Mika, who is ruled all this Crescent City, he says that now is Bryce responsible of investigation of this murder and figure out who is murdered Danica 2 years ago, and who is murdered this vampire, and that protect Bryce that she wouldn't be murdered the same. He made Hunt to be her guard. Rune is another character who is Bryce's brother, and also he is son of the Autumn King of the Crescent City. So Bryce is daughter of Autumn King also, but Autumn King, he hasn't did any announcements about that she's his daughter, so nobody knows about this, only her father, Rune, Bryce, and Bryce's mother, of course. 2 years ago, when Danica was slaughtered in quite the same time, it was Luna horn stolen by somebody, and Bryce tried to figure out who could stole it, but she couldn't do it, and now it's Autumn King make order to his son that he's supposed to figure out where this Luna horn. And Rune, he started to have suspicions that these murders and Luna Horn, they some way supposed to be connected with each other, so it would be best if Rune and her sister Bryce, they will work together like a team, and Bryce understood that she doesn't have any options, so she was agree with this. During the investigation, we can see that Hunt and Bryce, they have struggling to work with each other because Hunt thinks that Bryce is party girl and she couldn't figure out anything and she kind of stupid, and Bryce also thought that Hunt is arrogant man and they have trouble to connect with each other, so they have some funny moments, and after some time they understood that they were wrong about each other. And again, it was happened few more murders, and again it was the same way, and they tried to figure out who was called to this monster. And first it was the Viper Queen, they thought, and this the woman who was ruled the meat market where it happened everything bad and where you can buy something what is not allowed. Afterwards they understood that it's not she, and they thought that maybe it's mother of the Danica, her name is Sabine, and Danica and Sabine, they had very tense relationship with each other, and so maybe it's she, but afterwards they understood that probably it's actually not Sabine, so who it is? Eventually Crystals, it's the name of the monster who was killed before. He was attacked Hunt and Bryce when they were together, but Hunt was killed him, and in some way it was even easy to kill him, and here they start figuring out that Crystallos, he has a different way to kill fairies. So it's not Crystals who is killed, but somebody another. They went to Sabina, to mother of Danica, and Sabina was admits that actually Danica, she is stole the horn. Bryce even summoned Prince of the Chosen, Aidas, to understand is it who is from his monster, because this monster is differently from the beneath world, from the hell somewhere. So who is from his monsters was appear on the surface and start to kill. So it is what gives them hints that they need to run more analysis, and probably there's something missed there. So they did it, and they understood that actually it was some drugs in the Danica blood. Sabina Spark dislike very much Bryce, and they make fun of her, and Hunt wanted to protect her, and eventually Mika, this archangel, he was cut Hunt's wings, and when Bryce tried to comfort him how she could possible to do it, meantime Hunt was sneaking out from their apartment, and Bryce figured out that Hunt he is hiding some information from the Bryce, and he is some way even betray her because she was trust to him totally, but he was continue his idea to make revenge to archangels. Hunt was figure out that Danica probably she had too much these scenes, and scenes make stronger humans, and humans could even slaughter anybody with bare hands. But after some time they even can slaughter themselves to the pieces. So it's what probably happened with Danica also, because she had too high dose of sins, and she first slaughtered all her pack, and afterwards she slaughtered herself. So what is actually explained why Bryce hasn't hurt anybody in the apartment. So Bryce was very disappointed with Hunt, and she is back to her apartment. In the meantime, Hunt, he was dragged to the Mika's place, and there where Mika was give back him to the Central, and she is another archangel who was before owned Hunt, and who was torture him a lot. Bryce wanted to release Hunt, but of course she couldn't do it. But here they have main summit with all main venues who is lead some areas or something. They're like gathering together and talk, discuss some problems what they have. And usually the summit took few days. During the summit, Mika, he was sleep away from the summit and went to the Bryce, to her gallery where she was working. And there where he was admitted that actually it's he who is killed Danica and her pack because he gave to Danica too much this drug. Also he figured out that actually Luna Horn was seeking so much. It's actually Bryce because when Danica took this Luna Horn, she was melted it and make a powder, and this powder she was mixed with inks. What is they make tattoo for the Bryce. So Bryce it's a horn, but this horn was broken, so that to heal this horn you need this drug scenes. And Mika he was make vaccine to the Bryce with this drug, so she became stronger, and eventually she was shoot Mika and also slaughter him. So she had antidote, so she took this antidote, so she was fine. But before when she killed Mika actually had his chance. He was open all gates, all 6 gates what they had, and monsters start come to the surface and start to kill people and venues, everybody. So Bryce tried to save some people how she could, and in the same time Hunt was killed Central and tried to fly to the Bryce and help her, and all of them they find out that actually Bryce is a starborn. She has this like first light and it's very bright, and with this power she can close the gate. So she was close all gates and save all people and venues on the surface. Also in the book it talks about Asteris. Asteris is even who is stronger and higher of archangels, and they were freed Hunt because before Hunt was a slave and now he is a freedom citizen. They say that Bryce supposed to be quiet as she was help others to close the gates and about Mika. So it seems that kind of Esther who was figure out this situation and clean the surface. At the end, Hunt and Bryce they start living together and they happy. Let's start to discuss this book. So let's start from the beginning about Danica. And I want to admit that from the beginning I was doesn't like Danica and her pack, and they were kind of boring for me, and I just like, oh, why they're here? Maybe after we'll do something that erase them because it's start to be like kind of like syrup, this relationship between Danica and her pack and Bryce, because they love each other and blah blah blah, you know. And afterwards this seems more thought, and I'm actually happy that it was so much action and it was slaughter this Danica and Beck. It just like became a book more interesting than it was before. I like that this book also has some funny moments, and especially when Hunt tried to guard Bryce and she didn't want that he will do it, and she tried some way escape, especially this moment when she made manicure and he was standing there 1 hour under the rain and cursing her, right? So it was like some interesting moments with the humor, what is we are thankful to the author that make this boring part a little bit more funny. Again, authors start to have some hint about future war, and I don't like it. I don't know how it would be in the future, 2 books of this series, but I already don't like that it starts about war, because how you remember how it was in the Akatar 3rd book, it was totally about the war, and I hope that it wouldn't be happened in this book. So if you already read them, let me know. Is it would be more about this war, or it would be no. I'm pretty sure that you have some other stuff, what you can make interesting and action and what you can write. And it's not only about war, right? So I hope it wouldn't be so much about war in the future books. I was like actually at the end of this book, it's not about war, and that was amazing. Next, it's Rune, one of main character. From the beginning of the book, I couldn't get it why Bryce so bad behavior toward her brother. Because I understood that on the past they had some conflict, but still her behavior was very bad because Moon seems very helpful and he is do his best to protect and be on her side. I know that at the end it was that like Bryce kind of tried to protect him. Okay, for me all the situation with Arun and Bryce it seems very stupid because others was even worse behavior to her or she was more won't protect somebody there, but still her behavior was good to everybody almost except Rune, who is like doesn't deserve it. And I was a little bit annoyed of these feels and angry. So I hope that in the next books her behavior to the Rune would be improved. I like how afterwards made this twist with Sabine, because I was thought that it's Sabine who is killed her daughter and Beck. I think it was would be interesting to read about this. Another cool twist it was with the drugs. And I would say that okay, this book has some interesting twists and I would like it. Let someone in give them the power to hurt you and they do exactly that at the end. She couldn't do it, endure it. It was about Bryce and how that she can trust him, and I'm agree. We will talk a little bit later about their relationship because that's what is I was curious about their relationship. Usually when we trust someone, when we love to someone, when we have strong feelings, strong emotional to someone, we already give them a lot of power. But that's what is, I think, make our life much brighter when you give someone a lot of power of you. And right, he can betray you, he can make you hurt, he can make very hurt you or something else, or he can make you very happy, right? It can be like totally different scenarios of this. But still, that's what is make our life interesting and bright, and it's what we will remember until our last days, right? So I think if somebody hurt you, if somebody betrayed you, like step forward and again trust people, give them power, give them chances, and you will see how it turns. It could be turned to the good, could be turned to the bad, but I think it's always worth to try. I also was intrigued when Bryce was called to the Hades, this prince of the hell or something, and that's what it was for me, something interesting going on. At that time I had suspicion that probably it would be this future character and her future love, and I mean, I think it would be like interesting to read about Hades and Bryce, because Hades seems so dangerous and it's like this like cold air around him. In some way Bryce will go under to his where he living to his place, and there would be some enemies and she would be fight with them, and maybe eventually they would be with each other. Who was sharing with me the same feeling about sacrifice of Bryce. She sacrificed for everybody in this book. She so much sacrifices, like for literally for everyone in this book. Everyone is good and she is bad and she is sacrificed by everyone. And it's like so was annoying to read about this, because that's cool when main character do some good stuff and some sacrifices, right? For example, how she was for Danica, I think still there's too much. But still, okay, she was sacrificed her place after death to the Danica, and that's fine. But when she was show up, when Central and Hunt they were together, and she was kneeling to the Central to ask her that she would release Hunt and took her instead. That was too much, especially because Hunt, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to her, and he's betrayed her. How this life created in this book, I didn't understood this moment at all. If somebody of you understood when it happened, left your comment. I would happy to read them, because for me this part was mystery. Because they were living and their relationship was like roommates and co-workers. That's it. Yes, they have some patience to each other, but I mean, if you live with a handsome guy or beautiful girl, of course you would have some patience to each other, right? But let's return to the sacrifice. It's too much. Mostly her sacrifices, it's just like, for what? Just calm down, girl. Just calm down. Probably they even figure out by themselves. They also other people, and they can like figure out by themselves. Just like give them a chance to do it. Give them a chance to show how they are. Or I will sacrifice to him my place after life. Or I will sacrifice to him my life. Or I will sacrifice my money. Sacrifice something else. And not in the clever way. I'm pretty sure that she also can help Hunt some different way, but all the time the sacrificing, it's for what? It's more already looks like humiliation than something good. Hunt is 200 years old. He is a big boy. He has already lived this life, and he knows how it is, everything, and he knows that he will pay for everything. And all of them supposed to pay their bills also, right? And again, when she was kneeling, and afterwards Ron, her this real man, he just like, okay, she's my sister, and I'm not allowed to her like trade her life to Hunt's life, right? And Bryce like, little girl, no, I never would forgive you, you're a bad man. Well, I was gathering all my patience to continue to read because that's what is annoying. In Hunt, that's man who is the worst main character ever what I was read before books. I think he is the worst because he was just standing and look at her and just like thinking like how she is good and how he was bad, and that's it. But he didn't say anything. He couldn't even say anything to her. For example, he could say like, I don't know, something rude, something bad, that she would be really hate him. And this way, how he could save her life, that she would be think bad about him. He's supposed to say at least something, but he was just like standing and look at her and just like, oh, I didn't deserve her. Oh, she is so beautiful. She is so good, and I did such a bad stuff and blah blah blah. And now let's talk even more about Hunt. I was so much disappointed about him, so much. Because first, right, about this, how she's tried to sacrifice and he haven't said anything. When it was summit and Bryce was with Mika and Mika tried to attack the Bryce, what is did Hunt? He was just standing where it was this cave or whatever, where it was this summit. And he was just standing, look at the cameras, and just like, no, you can do it, I believe you, I trust you, you can do it. I mean, instead to do something, instead to fly to here, okay, right, it was took 1 hour or something like this. But again, first Bryce was fought with Mika, and afterwards she was fought with the monsters. And how we could read, it was already sunset and it was already dark, so she was fought almost whole day, and whole day Hunt just was standing and just like, oh, how I can help her, probably I can't help her. It's 16 minutes to fly there, or you can do it, you're strong, you're the best, and blah blah blah, and how it's for me that I can help you, otherwise of course I will help you. And in general all these veneries who was standing there and just look at the camera, they're just like crying, they were panic, nervous, worry about Bryce, but nobody of them did anything. Like they didn't anything to help her. They just was worried, nervous, and sometimes crying and screaming, and that's it. And Hunt, who is supposed to help her, who is also the main character, he was just standing in silent suffering, and that's it. So if to look to all this love line, I don't understand how it's happened. Why Bryce so much love him? Like for what she loves him so much? Because what he did, he was guarding her, right? He was saved her life few times, but it was his job. It was his duty to save her life. He was helping with investigation. He's like, he doesn't have another choice. He was help with investigation here, right? Because Mika said. He was saved here because Mika said. He was killed this Central, right? What is her name? Central, because he wanted to do it, right? I mean, everything what he did, he anyway will do it because he doesn't have choice and he will do it, or because he wants to do it, but he nothing do to the Bryce at all, right? Only one what he do for Bryce, he was jumping and the bomb was hit him. And also he was crying and silent suffering about her. That's it. And Bryce, she was like sacrifice her kneeling, trade her life, fought with Mika, fought with monsters, made a drop, and she knew that probably she wouldn't be survived, but she made a drop for him also because it was supposed to heal him, right? I mean, she did a lot of sacrifice and a lot of fights to him. And he just was jumping from the plane and that's it. And that's all help what she had. Also right. Also, he was threatened this werewolf. What is her name? I don't remember her name. From the Sabine Beck, who was make fun of the Bryce, and he was threatening her that she shouldn't do it anymore, and that's how Mika cut his wings. But again, wings what is supposed to grow in 2 weeks, so he didn't sacrifice almost anything. So again, that's a worst main character, and in general, when I was reading about Hunt, I was feel shame, and I was a little bit look to the future parts of the series, and I see that they would be in the second and third book also together. Disappointed. One more thing what I want to talk about is that moment when Danica was show up to help Bryce. Right, Danica, who was from the another world, from the death world, show up to help her friend. And Han just jumped from the airplane like potato and was hit by bomb, and that's it. So, and yeah, that's moment when Danica will show up to help Bryce, and that's when I start to think how it would be, for example, we would have chance to meet with somebody who died just like for 5 minutes. And we would have this chance, like for example, somebody died, and you know that you have in the future 5 minutes with this person in any time when you want, but it's only one time, right? And how it would be different. What do you think about this? What you will tell somebody who will be show up just for 5 minutes? And conclusion. And how I said before, I rated this book 2 out of the 5 stars, and only because of the end. And this scene when Bryce was fight with Mika, it was really good scene. I was like reading about this, I was enjoying it, was emotional, it was action, it was unexpected twist. Only because of this scene and maybe because of that Danica and her pet was slaughtered too. So it was something interesting also. But in general, this book is boring. Even me, who loves to read detectives, was boring because it wasn't strong detective line, and it was a weak love line, and wasn't so many actions here. And in general, probably if to look closer to this book, you would have some more issues and some more details of what is not fit to each other. So I just hope that next books would be better, because I already bought all of them. I already bought all of them, so I just like hope and pray that they would be much better than this book. Because if I wouldn't be bought them, I already will not buy them, because this was a good ending. It has issues, but in general it was good ending, and I would be left how it is. Thank you that you're watching my video, and if you want to support my channel, left comment what you think about this book. Maybe you have different opinion than I have, and subscribe, and see you on my next video and next book.